Law is clear.
No, probably not after the press conference, because, but it's clear in my point of view to this extent. Was it a business under the commission? Let's start from there, because they are treating it as a business before the commission or a dispute before the commission. Then in that case, the commission's vote. Are we following that? Yeah. So if it's an issue before the commission, then you can take that route. So was it a dispute under the commission? None. But if it was a dispute under the commission, then you are saying, okay, then in the commission, they could vote and then decide. It was simply a matter of tallying. It is not one of the role, and the Constitution gives the roles of commission where you are saying this is something falling under the commission for the entire commission to decide. It is not. Number two, and so the chair is simply put as the person that is the returning officer. The case that they are citing about Maina Kiai was a scenario where the chair did not rely on the results from the polling stations. Remember, the chair being returning officer do not manufacture the results. They are supposed to get the results from the polling stations in Form 34A. So that is the context of Maina Kiai, where the chair went ahead and ignored the results. And that is where Maina Kiai is saying, remember it is Maina Kiai, and even layman now knows Maina Kiai as the case that was saying that results are final at the polling station. At least that has become a chorus, isn't it? That result. And it took Supreme Court to remind somebody like Chebukati that you cannot come here and tell us that you relied on Form 34B from the constituency. And if there were error in 34A, they were corrected with 34B. No, 34A is final. The results from the polling stations are final. So those are the two limbs of Maina Kiai. Where do the results come from? Not in IEBC Commission, not in Nairobi, but at the polling stations. And in that context is where now the court directs itself and tell the chair that you cannot just shoot from the hip and bring your own results. Surely it is the opposite here, where Chebukati is saying, look at the portal, look at the results from the polling stations. Everybody, they are not my results. And therefore, you know, I think it is a case where you wonder, why should we do things like this? You know, they say in law, if you cannot argue in facts, argue in law. If you cannot argue in law, just hit the table. But this is worse than hitting the table, because that Maina Kiai decision is the biggest limp, and the biggest decision is that the results are final from the polling station. And Chebukati kept telling them, we cannot change anything, isn't it? That here in Bomas, we cannot change. Unless just note the error, go to Supreme Court. Why? Because the results were final from the polling stations. So they are not Chebukati's results. They are not the chair's results. They are the people results. That is what Maina Kiai contribution is. And in dictum is not even part of the ruling. In the court trying to be flowery and show, they now describe how the chair behaved, who did not take into consideration the result from the polling station. And they are saying you became a lone ranger and a master in Maina Kiai. Surely, that is not even part of the ruling. It is simply something that was describing what was happening in ignoring the result from polling station. Now, here we are. The commission all of a sudden are declaring the result unconstitutional. They are all of a sudden citing Maina Kiai, but citing it wrongfully. They are all of a sudden struggling with the mathematics. They are all of a sudden not sure about that they were overruled. even though the constitution says that the returning officer. So envision a scenario where all the commissioners disagree with the winner, not with the results, but the winner. Do they then vote? And when you find majority of the commissioner vote that whom do we give between this, they might as well flip the coin. Then the commission say majority of us have seen that it is this guy. Then that becomes the result. Could that be what the law envisioned? That at the end of the day, let Kenyans vote, let then the commissioners vote, and whoever they vote for become the winner. Then why do we vote? Then why do we go to polling station? Then why do we have the KIMS kit? Then why do we have the agents? Then why do we tally at the constituencies? It bastardizes the whole idea of Article 138 that the people choose their leaders. Can it be about referendum of the commissioners? So that if they don't like maybe the shape of my head, if they don't like this candidate, they say majority of us have said Niuyu. Then we give them the result. Then why do we waste billions having Kenyans vote? Why don't we just flip a coin or have the commissioners decide this thing? Finally,